Hey guys, how's it going? I'm so glad that you joined me. Today I received some gifts from, well, not a gift, I purchased them. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm so glad that you joined me today. Today I'll be doing an unboxing of two packages that I received, one from Amazon and one from eBay. Now I do a bit of shopping online. My favorite actually is eBay. It used to be Amazon, but these days I find that eBay for film photographer is actually a lot more practical and a lot more useful. I mean, try doing a search on Amazon for film stuff and you'll be surprised how little of a selection they have. I have the Amazon Prime, but maybe one of these days I'm gonna actually cancel that. But I really do enjoy shopping on eBay every now and then. I find that if you're good at actually auctioning the skill, it involves quite a bit of skill, knowing when to click, knowing when to bid and when not to bid, and knowing the kind of things to look out for when you're looking out for film products or film cameras. And that's actually one thing that I'm going to discuss in a future video. But for now, I have two packages to unbox. One of the packages, let me just block off the names here and the addresses. One of the packages here actually comes from Ukraine, as you can see, all the way from Ukraine. So I have quite a bit of stamps on this here. Quite interesting actually. So I'll be unboxing this. I think this is a camera that I ordered online about a few weeks ago. So we'll see what that is. And the other box, like I said, is from Amazon. Okay, so let's get to it. Now this box looks like it's been beaten up quite a bit. I mean, considering that it's from Ukraine and all the way from Ukraine, all the way to Alberta, Canada. So it's taking quite a bit of abuse. When I first received this box from the post office, that's actually one thing that I noticed was I was like, oh man, this box is really beaten up. And this is what we have. It's a bit messy in here, not very well packaged, but I mean, considering that it's from Ukraine, I would have expected a bit more packaging for a camera, but I guess this would do. I hope the camera itself is not damaged. If I were to be shipping something like a camera, I would certainly put a lot more packaging on that. So the seller didn't do too much of a good job on that. Now, first of all, first impression. So this is the camera. I don't know what's in. Yeah, I think it's a Russian-made camera, and this would be the Moskva or Moskva 5 camera. First impressions is dirty, a little dirty. I think the seller could have done a little cleanup. Probably even didn't bother to dust it off. So think about it, this is dust from the Ukraine, all the way from the Ukraine. I don't think the seller did too much of a good job cleaning this product up. I mean, if you're selling stuff on eBay, I mean, the least you could do is just take a damp cloth and just wipe things down a bit before you actually ship them. So if you watch my other video, my other unboxing video, I'm not a fan of actually these leather cases, although this one actually looks nice. I don't know what, but there's something about this case that I appreciate. The stitching, I think it's the stitching, the quality of the stitching. It just looks really, really nice. I may just keep it on it once I clean it up a bit. And I undo this part here to release the camera itself. This is a camera that I bought online, like I said, a few months ago, and it's supposed to work. So, I don't know. First impressions, it's a 120 camera. Some cameras are able to take, I think, 4x5, 4.5 by 5, or 6 by 7. Some even have the square format, which would be 6 by 6. So I think this one may be able to take more than one format, and that's why it has two different windows here, depending on which count you're on. Because for 120 film, if you've ever unrolled 120 film, you will notice that there are numbers on the bottom, numbers in the middle, and that's because depending on the kind of camera you have, the count will be different, and they're spaced out depending on the format that you're shooting. You could end up with, I think, 12 shots, or some even 9 shots, something like that. So first impressions about this camera before I actually start testing it, doing a quick thing, would be it feels very solid. It's very heavy. Very heavy. It feels quite heavy, very hefty. I love the build quality of this thing. It just feels solid. First impressions, I think this would be this would likely be the aperture dial, I think, because I see 32, 22, I'm not sure, 65. That's kind of weird. Or maybe it's the speed, I don't know. Or it could be the ISO setting. It could be the ISO setting, which would kind of make sense because back in the day ISOs were pretty low for the film types that they used. Okay, let me figure out how to take out the lens. I see this flap here. I don't know if I should lift it. Oh, it does lift up. Then what happens when that lifts up and it closes? I'll have to check them. And there's an inscription here, Moskva 5. So I need to figure out how to release the lens. I'm pressing this button here, but it doesn't look like that's it. Maybe I have to take out this flap and press the button. No, that's not it either. This would be the shutter release button. I'm not sure what this would be for. Oh yeah, now I see. This, I think, would be the button that will change the formats like I talked about. So you can switch it to a square format that looks like a square, and that looks like a rectangular format. So you can toggle between them, and then depending on how you toggle it, you look in either one of these windows here. I still can't figure out how to release the lens, but I'm pretty sure it's a simple thing. Okay, so why don't I open the back and see how the back looks like. Oh, it comes off. Interesting. And the lens seems to be a decent, very decent shape. Yeah, and the shutter, if you see, the shutter is pretty much intact there. The bellows look like they're in good shape, for at least from what I can see now. I see there's a spool of 120 film spool in there. This is where the other spool would go. The back comes off clean, and if you see, you can see 6.9, sorry, 6 by 9, that's the one of the formats. So you look out through this window, and if you're taking 6 by 6, you look out through this window. So I guess the negatives from this film camera would be quite big. I'm gonna put this back on. First, putting this back on this way. You know, I love these cameras. I just love the way this camera feels. It feels very hefty. and I just closed it up, I think. Yes, fully closed. It's pretty much intact. Okay, I still can't figure out how to release. I think this has something to do with it. This button here. And oh yes, it did have something to do with it. So you basically press it down. So let me try that again. I'm going to show you how to actually open this up right now to figure out how do I close. Oh, and it closes the same way. Okay, so what you do is you hold on this button. Film photography is pretty much relatable. I'm taking a relatable skill from my Ag5 Select. I know that this button releases that lens for that camera as well. And it's a similar design. You press this down, hold this down, take out this flap here, and you just pull and release until you hear the click. Wow, that's a big lens. That lens looks amazing, and it's nice and clean. So the seller actually did a good job with this part. It looks very nice. That looks amazing. And apparently this thing comes here with a rangefinder window here. So you're able to tell if something is in focus or not with this little lens here. I don't know how that works, but I'll figure it out. It flips across like that, and then you will look through here, and that will line things up with this over here, and you're able to tell if something is in focus or range of something. I have to research it, and that will be for another video. Right from the onset, the lens looks amazing. No issues with the lens from what I can see. It looks like the bellows look in good shape. Just a bit of lint on it, but I don't see any breaks on it. If you look, it's in pretty decent shape. Look at that. I'm quite happy with this so far, but you know really the point of a camera, if you want to shoot with it, is actually if the shutter fires. And for these old cameras, you want to make sure that the shutter actually fires. So what I'm going to do now is figure out if the shutter fires.